do that then.
You're going to be a host.
Okay, and then how do you then share it to Facebook if you do that?
Okay, the three dots, more down the bottom. You know how to do it?
It's not.
Next to the reactions down at the bottom, more, click it one time, live on Facebook. I'll take you live on Facebook, forget it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't see it in my version. Three dots, where are you? Oh, over by there. Nope.
Okay, hold
Okay.
on, hold
I
on.
thought I knew everything. Well, Josie and Candy, please, and Joan, please start your cameras. Hi, everybody.
Oh, good morning.
Hi.
Hello, good morning, Cassie.
Yes, good morning, you guys. So glad to have you here. Okay. So I guess we can start. How is everyone today? Good?
Oh, yes, thank you.
Good, good. Okay. Well, today I am very, very, very excited to invite all of you to experience some experts that work with the angels on this panel that we've created called Angels Guidance. And what I wanted to do is, I think we're very, very fortunate to have these three angelic beings, because they all are angelic beings who work with the angels, but they really, I think, are angels. And so I thought I'd start with what are angels for those of you that may not understand what we're doing. The angels are a pure spirit created by God. The Old Testament theology included the belief in angels. The name implied to certain spiritual beings or intelligences of heavenly residents, employed by God as the ministers of his will. The English word angel comes from Greek angelos, which means messenger. And in the Bible and in a lot of the sacred texts, you'll see the word angel used as messenger in a lot of ways. Today, we're honored to learn from three experts that have intimate relationships with their angels. The first one I'm going to introduce, and could you wave your hand in case it's when I introduce you, okay, is Joan Hangarter. She is Dr. Joan Hangarter, and she is known by many people as Joan of Angels for the visionary art and the messages from spirit that come through her work. She's been assisting people from all corners of the world for almost 40 years, inspiring, healing, and uplifting thousands as a doctor and a counselor, doing many long distance readings. And hopefully she'll get to talk about her experience with the art with Josie, the next person I'm going to introduce. Also, almost everybody's friends here. This is so cool. Then the next person, Josie, will you wave your hand, is founder and CEO of Addiction Therapeutic Services and Recovery View. Josie Herndon has been working in the field of healthcare, behavioral health, and addiction services for over 30 years. But then she found her true purpose through spiritual practice and mastering her intuition with the Archangel Gabriel and his direct guidance. And she actually has a show that's called From Drama to Dharma, where she channels Archangel Gabriel for everyone. Along with owning the treatment center and consulting firm, Josie has ventured into her very own Satori Center for Wellbeing. So she has the physical healing capabilities, as well as all the therapy, as well as angelic. So she's like bridging the two worlds. And then we've got Claire Candy Hough, which I call her Candy. Claire Candy Hough is a two-time number one Amazon International bestseller, radio and TV host, a Reiki master and teacher, and an inspirational speaker. Following her angelic walk-in experience in January 2003, she created her business, Angel Healing House, to help others connect to their divine, eternal nature. So we have experts here to guide you so that you can have an experience with the angels like you might never have had before. So first of all, what I'd love to do is ask a few questions that will help guide each one of you in your presentation. And then at the end of the presentation, I want to ask the audience, as you have questions for any of these speakers, please put them in the chat. And after the presentation, we'll have an interactive conversation between you and the panel. So that way you can get your questions answered. You also, if you're sensitive to energy, you will feel a very high vibe from these three women, and hopefully me too. But these guys are supercharged. So hopefully, if you you will probably get a healing from just being on this event. So what I want to do is ask you to first please share with all of us how you first connected with your angels, and how do you continue to work with your angelic support team and receive guidance. So Joan, I'd love for you to start the presentation if you could.
I just want to take a collective deep breath in with everyone as we begin, because I could feel the vibrational frequency of these beautiful angelic beings who I adore, each and every one of you. But as if we can collectively take that deep breath in, because we are all together taking everyone to skip the third dimension and fourth dimension. We started at the fifth and going higher with each presentation here. So I'm Joan of Angels. You know, in thinking about how I became Joan of Angels, I realized it started with living in a closet in my childhood where I hid. And it was the angels that would come and comfort me. And I would look at the paintings on the wall, you know, and I'd see angels in them when I would close my eyes. I didn't know that they were angels. They were just these beautiful beings. And they gave me peace of mind when I hid in the closet. So I have been talking and guided by angels by a sense that I was here to do something very special. I didn't quite know what it was because I was still hiding in the closet and not hearing. But I had the sense of something special. And my favorite biography was Joan of Arc. Okay, I read everything I could get a hold of on Joan of Arc. And Annie, get your gun so you can see these two aspects of me. But Joan of Arc was that presence of someone who could speak to God. And all I wanted to do was be like her. And I would just go to bed. Even when I had the measles and I wasn't allowed to read, I snuck in a few chapters. Okay. And I want to fast forward to when I just really want to fast forward to when I first really understood that I was hearing the voice of the angelic ones and I was becoming a messenger. And so it was about 10 years ago, and I had hit a very low spot in my life. And I hadn't been listening to the guidance of the divine, let's put it that way. I had written books about miracles, but I had walked off that miracle path in my humanness again, in the 3D struggles that I invented for myself. And so I had written this beautiful book called The Miracle Makers Club on how to have miracles in your life. And I met a woman where I was living who had just happened to read that book. And she looked at me and she said, "You're not the author of this book. You couldn't possibly be. You do not have that vibratory frequency of this woman I wanted to meet." And I realized how subtle it was that over the years I had stepped off of that path and I had lost everything. And I got down on my hands and knees and prayed for an awakening. And fortunately for me, It was 2013 Halloween, and the portals were open, and I heard these voices that said, paint 33 angels in 30 days. And I said, what? That's a lot of art. 33 angels in 30 days. And it was presented to me in such a way that I knew that that was the beginning of my recovery. I had crashed and burned when someone recognized I wasn't this person. And then I knew that my way was in doing this art. And so I began the journey of feeling this energy, becoming a messenger for the divine. They didn't show me what I was to do. They said, once you show us that you're listening, we're giving this message to thousands of people around the world. Some of you out there might have heard that message. We're giving that message, but it's those who stand up to be one of the chosen ones. They said, you must choose, and you choose by saying yes. So I said yes. I humbly said yes, and I began my becoming this messenger for the divine, and I started painting, and I would turn the art upside down. It didn't matter, eyes open, eyes closed. I would feel their presence and paint them. And as a matter of fact, that's how I met one of our other panelists, Josie, which changed my entire life, which shows you that you never know when you say yes to the divine where they are going to take you. And so as I began to paint, a book fell off the shelf, and it opened to this page, and it said, your call for angelic assistance has been heard. Okay? And I'm telling you that, each and every one of you who are here today, your call for angelic assistance has been heard. And what happened? I hung up all the art. The angels started speaking. They started sharing me, and most important, they started showing me that every human actually has wings. Okay, my guys? You all have wings. And we even, biology, even anatomy, it calls it, your scapula are also known as wings. Who would have known? And it used to be that whenever I would have shoulder pain and scapula pain, I used to pray, okay, angels, can you just take my wings off and replace them? Because I could tell they were in pain, okay? They were in pain not just from carrying the burdens of this life. I'm sure you know what I mean. They were in pain from carrying the burdens of lifetimes of shame, of being an angelic being, or being a magical woman, or a white witch, or someone who's talked to angels, or someone who was a healer, who was different from everyone else. And at that moment, I knew that there were millions of us across the planet who carried the shame of having lost our head, our neck, being burned at the stake. And so that very essence that we had of knowing who we were, oh my God, no wonder I hid in the closet for the first century of my half century of my life, because I knew that pain, that I had to be reassured that I was not going to lose my head this time, that I was not going to be burned at the stake. And just like each and every one of you needs to know that. And so they took me to the Angel Rejuvenation Spa for complete recovery, and we are going to go there in just a minute. But there is a little more to share. I can even feel the vibrations in this water, my friends, from all of you and your essence. So I brought a painting of Gabriel. I was a messenger for humanity. I brought this painting out to a beloved Josie, who fell in love with Gabriel. Obviously, he was the angel of her dreams and of her visions. And Gabriel says to me right then, you need to come to the desert so you can hear. So you can hear us better. Get rid of all that static between you and us. No small task, guys, to get rid of that static. And I moved out here. And on day 3, it was day 2 or 3, I think it was day 3, I'm having breakfast with a friend from LA and someone she wants me to meet here. She says, you got to meet this woman, Joan. Her name was Robin. And I'm sitting at breakfast in the middle of this very busy cafe, the Cottage Cafe, one of the only decent ones in Desert Hot Springs. And she looks at me with perplexed eyes. She says, what was your name again? And so loud restaurant, having coffee. I said, well, my name is Joan, and I was going to say Joan Hangarter. Well, she goes like this. And it was like walking into a time zone. All the sound disappeared. I heard nothing. I was in a wind. And she says, I know who you are. She goes, you're Joan of Angels. Okay? And I heard the Hallelujah chorus resonating through my very being, like, hallelujah. It's like she finally knows, she knows. I had kind of heard it as Joan of Archangel, but of course, it was Joan of Angels, and it was like, I know who I was. So guys, when you're given a name like Joan of Angels, and you've spent your lifetime half in a closet hiding because you're so shy, and you're not sure you can handle all of this, and yet you know you have a mission, it is overwhelming, and a little bit of life changes. It's taken me 6 years, because that was 6 years ago, to step into the energy and the frequency of this energy. Not from ego, because you can imagine, I got slapped in the face when I was with my daughter one day, and we were in a shop in LA, and I was still confused, okay? And I met these people, and they said, well, who are you? And I go, well, I'm Joan of Angels. Now, my daughter would have liked me to say I'm Dr. Joan Hangarter, but I led with, I'm Joan of Angels. And she goes like this. And then she does the thing her dad does. And it was like, okay, in public, she goes like this. All right, that's that. Their dad does that. That's why I'm not with him. So she goes like this. And she's infuriated at me. How can you lead with Joan of Angels? How can you be that one who stands out from the crowd, who actually calls herself an angelic being? And it's true that who knew when I was little that this was going to be who I am and how I present to the world. And so here in the Desert Heart Sanctuary, where I paint and I bring these messages, one of my jobs is to continue to raise my own vibrational frequency. One of my jobs is to clear away all the clutter that continues to enter just when I want to go into deep dives. And so learning how, like a windshield wiper, and I know part of this is how do you actually do some of your processes? Well, one of the things I learned is that I literally go and open the curtain to the other dimensional layers of consciousness. And there they are. They are all lined up, raring to go and raring to give us the information as we clear out our bodies. So I want to take you into a little experience of what they told me was the angelic recovery spa, the angel recovery zone. All right. Because that is what we're doing. We're recovering, first of all, with a promise that you will not lose your head this lifetime. You will not be burned at the stake. And the more you can tap into your high angelic frequencies now and into your memories of who you are, the easier it will be for you to become the leader you came here to be. So start with me, guys. Just start to bring your shoulders back and feel into this energy, because remember what I told you. These are your wings. And right now, guys, remembering, taking a deep breath in and letting it all out. And as we let it out, sending your roots down, down, down to the center of the earth. And again, sending your roots down to the center of the earth. And breathing in. And right now, feeling up at your crown chakra, sending your antenna all the way up to the heavens, so that you are now aligned to the heaven, from the heavens, through your body, down through the center of your being, into the center of the earth. Held firm, yet being able to expand on that grid that allows our body right now, every time we take a deep breath in, to begin to feel that expansion. And imagining right now, as we feel that expansion, imagining that these very clothes that we are wearing are somehow, we are now surrounded in these fabrics of pure celestial fabric that is so light and energy. Can you feel it? It is filled with healing vibrational energies that not only meld with your body, but they tickle your senses, and they literally are starting this process of literally helping you shift from your body. Now, right now, coming towards you, I want you to actually see some of your guardian angels right behind you, one on your right and one on your left. And these divine angelic beings are sky high with you right now. And right now, I want you to just feel that they're beginning to take out each feather in those wings, oiling them, removing the grime of centuries, removing the dust from having been hidden in the shadows and of the recesses. Removing those curses and those angry words and those shaming that was experienced in those wings. And as they do this, they are continuing to oil with those celestial fragrances of the divine. If you can imagine the holiest of essential oils beyond holy, so that each breath fills you with such delight. As you start to feel these wings, imagining that, noticing that they're turning to the most amazing colors of translucent pearly whites, of a very bold and brilliant light, of purples being twinged in gold all around the edges, and feeling right now those wings expanding ever outward beyond what you even can imagine, outward going high as the heavens, where our family resides, outward stretching and pulling your chest forward and your back as you literally feel you have been taken up through the vibrational frequencies and the dimensions, and from the 5th to the 6th to the 7th to the 8th, and feeling the presence and seeing all of your beloved ones there, ready to greet you, adoring you, commending you, and most of all, celebrating the you that has taken this stance. And right now, they even may have a little message for you. Feel free to take a moment to hear it. Hear it with your sight, with your ears, and with your heart. And know that once you have tasted of this heavenly energy, you know who you are. You can bring those wings with you everywhere. When you leave your house, beloved ones, feel the presence of your angels. Fluff those wings so bright so that when you leave your house and you walk among those in the world, they look and they feel that presence. They know who you are. They feel it. Your light is so burning bright, my loves. And that, my dear, is how we step into our angelic frequencies. We become a part of the angel brigade. We remember who we are. And we do that which we came here to do. Thank you.
Beautiful, Joan. Thank you so much. I think, I hope everyone got to feel that, and that they will actually share this recording afterwards so that more people will experience this, because it's truly a gift. Thank you so much.
And I'd like to just share that I do soul awakening that helps you remember. It's so important to remember. And you can find me at joanofangels.com. Thank you.
Perfect. And if, again, in the chat, if you have questions, there's After these presentations, there's time to interact with these speakers. So please, please enjoy this and take advantage of the experience to work with these beings of light. They're quite remarkable. Okay, so the next person up is Josie Herndon. And I'd love for you to, if you want to bring Gabriel in, however you want to do it, I'm excited to hear your presentation.
Well, thank you, Kathy. And I just want to thank you and the organization for inviting me to be part of this wonderful panel. I'm honored. I'll just give a little story of how I got to where I am, and then I'll bring Gabriel in. So that way you'll know. Because I think that was your question, is how did we connect? How did I connect with my angels, or when did I first connect? And like Joan, I was a child, and I lost my father and my brother when I was 9 and 10, and my father from alcoholism, and my brother a motorcycle accident. So all the men in my life when I was a child left me all at once. I was being raised Seventh-day Adventist and Catholic, so two very strict religions. And so I would go to Seventh-day Adventist school, and I'd go to Mass every night. I mean, I had a convent that was next door to me. So I had my best friend, Sister Anna, just to give you an idea of how I was as a kid, always just there. But my thing was, I asked a lot of questions. I didn't, ever since I can remember, I never resonated with what religion told me. It just did not resonate with my spirit. So I constantly asked questions. And talking to Gabriel now, he said, I got to this point because I always ask questions, and I said yes to God, and I just said yes. And when my brother and my father passed away, which I know they transitioned, and that's when everything shifts during grief for a lot of people. And, my whole world changed, and I went inward and I went upward. I took that grief up to God and to the angels. My grandmother was an angel. She had 18 kids, and we all felt, and all these grandkids, and we all felt like we were the only ones. And her entire house was angels, angels, angels. So, she raised me with that love and that angel, spirit and energy. And then fast forward in 2000, then a lot happened. Got married, had 3 kids, got divorced, all the things we do. And so in 2000, I got divorced. And I was a single mom, and I was very confused because the churches did not welcome us, in there like they did when we were coming in as a family. So that's when I started thinking, I need some answers. So I read the Bible again, the entire Bible. I read that several times, and I would just get these answers. And then I went up with Miguel, the last speaker interviewed his son, but with Lee McCormick and with Miguel Ruiz to retreat up in Teotihuacan at the retreat center. And that was in 2000. So we did this 10-day spiritual journey together. And I let go at that point of all my religious beliefs, and I just connected with the angels. And Miguel's the one who saw the angels behind me. They're like, I could see these angels all around you. And I never even considered it until then. So from that point until now, I have beautiful teachers that come in. I've been channeling, I met Michael first back then, and then spent 2 years with Raphael doing writing, just writing, free writing. And then that was 12 years ago. And then 10 years ago, he brought in Gabriel. And at the time I was like, Gabriel, who's that? I love Raphael so much. I'm like, why am I like, well, who's Gabriel? So anyways, Gabriel then explained who he was. And we have this beautiful relationship where I channel him. Our energies are very well connected. Like Joan said, everybody has this capability. Gabriel says this is not a gift. It's not a present for Josie, as much as anybody would want to think. This is something we all have. We all have the capability to tap into our angelic realm, as Joan said. But I said yes, and I continue to say yes. I'm working, and Kathy's helping me with this. I'm working on finishing my book. So I've already I started the book that I'm writing with Gabriel about 3.5 years ago, and it'll be complete by September. I'm just gonna, if everybody can just help me hold that energy, that the book will be complete this summer, because I've had many distractions with my businesses and family and a lot of things. COVID this last year was an incredible, beautiful year in a lot of ways. Now we can see the shifts and the evolution of it. But in the meanwhile, my husband had cancer, I had lung problems. So, I just felt the calling even stronger through these medical things that came up, and he's fine now. So we've gotten to the other side of these things. And now what happens is what, we're doing. And I'm going to go back to my commitment that I made to the angels. And the reason it's Gabriel is that as a channeler, or I never liked that word because of my religious beliefs, but that's fine. I'm good with it because or a conduit or whatever. You're kind of open. And I was nervous about it 10 years ago. So when I was communicating with Gabriel, we made this agreement that I would only channel him, so that I wouldn't have any other distractions from any other beings that wanted to come in when my channel's open. And so that made me feel more comfortable. Now, Gabriel's everywhere. He says he's everywhere. It's a fun relationship because it's like I'm only with Gabriel when we're channeling, but he's channeling all day with everybody, So you all have those gifts, as I said. But for me, it was more comfortable, and it still is, just to know that I have that one energy flowing through me at a time. And it's been very clear. But the other angels that are here with us, there are many, are Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and then Metatron is always taking the records. And there's many of them here, but those are my main four that, that I work with. I still have yet to spend a lot of quality time with Uriel. I've had quality time, if you will, with Michael in the beginning, Raphael, right now Gabriel, and as we're elevating and enlightenment, Uriel is so close right now to everybody because of the enlightenments that are happening, and everybody's just seeing the light, feeling the light. So that's he always wants to be acknowledged. So because I'm like, Uriel, what do you, anyways, but they are very funny. They're very funny, and they're telling me, just finish this book, Josie. You're taking it way too seriously. You must just have fun while you're finishing this book. So they just want us to have a nice time with them, because I take it sometimes too seriously. I mean, again, I'm running companies, and then I have to write this book. So I'm trying to do it the way I would write a book. And they're saying, no, this book's going to flow and it's just going to be done. You just have to sit and do it, finish it. So that's part of the faith and part of all of that. I never thought I would do any of this, really. I mean, I was more mainstream as an executive for many years, but the wonderful thing is that I am able to connect both worlds, because people know me from a professional level. And then now that I'm talking to them about angels, they're like, well, when did you do this? I'm like, I've always done this. I do this at night. I do this other stuff during the day. But, the angels are saying we're integrating everything now. There's no, weekend angels anymore. These are like, we're all 24/7 in the light and sharing it with the world. And it's time for that. So that's my story in a nutshell from my perspective as a human. And now I'm going to go ahead and bring Gabriel in and see, and he'll share a message for you. I could do it with eyes closed or open, but so that I'm not distracted, I might do it with eyes closed. Good day to everybody, and thank you so much, Kathy, Joan, and Candy, for sharing the platform with us and holding the angelic realm energy. Josie feels it as soon as she sees and looks at your faces and your eyes. She sees the angels that are around you, and with those who are in the audience, she feels the energy. She doesn't see your faces because the visual is not there, but we see everybody. We know exactly what's happening, and we are welcoming this technology platform as a way of sharing our messages to many, rather than just maybe the one or two that Josie or a few that Josie has in her life, in her surroundings. We want to thank you. You are blessed for being here, all of you. The topic for this week was asked of us to speak regarding unity for the week of Unity Week. And that is most important at the moment in your in your history, and with everything that has happened recently over the last 18 months and that is happening now and for the future. We live in the now moment, of course. However, the topic of unity is for everybody to feel that oneness with each other. And in order for you to feel the oneness with each other, sometimes you must have a conversation that does not agree with each other. Have you experienced as humans when you're arguing with a loved one or you're in a disagreement with a loved one, and then when you make up, then you love each other even more? So the strife that you're feeling on the planet and all the disagreements that are there from a spiritual level is necessary to bring the truths out of humans' mouths that they feel inside their visceral body. All of you are experiencing that. It's like, what did they just say? Was that possible? They're speaking of those things now? Yes, it is. These things that are being spoken are the truths of humans that need to, are coming out into the field of energy to be released so that oneness can happen. When humans are not their authentic self and they are telling each other what each other wants to hear, and then they go home and do something else or whatever, then that truly is not a oneness. There's a block. All the message, all the language that's being spoken out of the word, out of the mouths of humans currently are the truths. There's no other where to go, any other place to go but the truth out of your mouth, whether it's something anybody wants to hear or not. So we want you to remember that as you're working with your fellows in your circles and the world around you and those who are with you and those who you have platform, be kind to each other. Love each other. And know that whatever words are coming out must come out so they could be released from the visceral soul so that they can be who they truly are. And it's happening quickly. You do not have to go to therapy for 10 years. And Josie's comes from a clinical background. No, don't need to do that. That is all, everything's now. When you say, yes, I want this, it's gone. It's say it, bless and release it. Move on and up to who you truly are. And you will see it. You will feel it. You already do, or you would not be on this broadcast. And we thank you for asking the questions. So for us in the angelic realm, we say, ask us the questions and we will show you the answers. Invite us in. Invite us. If we're invited, we will give you all the information you want, but we cannot if we're not invited in. And that's one of the things for sure that is true, because you all as humans have free will, and you must be in the vibrational realm of inviting us in so that you could actually connect. Josie had a question from somebody in one of her shows a couple weeks ago who asked the question. Oh, Joan was on the show. So Joan and Josie had the question. She was the guest, Joan. And the question was, how do I meditate and connect with the angels and stop all these thoughts in my head? We said, if you meditate and try to clear your mind so that you could get the answers, it will never happen. Rarely does it happen clearly when you try to clear your head. That in that order, it takes years. But if you want it right now, you invite the angels in. You invite the light in first. And you align with us first. And then our energy will clear your mind so that you could get the answers. That's the shortcut. The shortcut is to invite us in first. We will clear the thoughts and you will receive your answers. The long way is for you to sit there and try to clear your thoughts and then get the answers. It's possible, but it takes more work, more concentration, which we do not want you to have to do. That's not necessary. So again, that's one thing that we want to share with you that's most important for your connection. And when you do that, then you can connect in turn, when we're all connected as if we are now, with each other in the spiritual realm. The golden thread, the higher consciousness all together. And we're up here chatting and talking, and then you see somebody and you say, oh, they look familiar. It's because you've already met them in the angelic realm. When you meet somebody and you feel, as Josie, when she met Joan and they were immediate, and Kathy immediately, it's because they had already met in the angelic realm. And this is just confirmation as humans. You're our humans. So we love you dearly. And we get so excited when you say yes, and then you share our messages with each other and you meet each other. And then you can take this message to the world. It is good to do these things to congregate together, but we say, do not just only speak to the choir, sing to the choir. You practice with the choir, you are the choir, and then you take it out to everybody that will feel it, not listen. If you tell them, sometimes they're thrown off. Feel their energy and be kind to them and be loving, and just, they will feel your vibration, and then you go from there. So you're being it with few words. Then you will intuit the words to speak with them. The arguments of humans and the all that despair is because, or the disagreements is because one human says his way is right and the other human's his way. So then that's where you don't have to do that. We encourage you not to. We recommend, you could do whatever you'd like, but we highly recommend that that's not going to get you anywhere. That it's most, if you sit there quietly and then you energetically, and then you kindly speak with them, then they will ask you questions. And then you can share. Again, as an angelic being, you also need that invitation to share. When you're channeling the angels or the angelic being or this higher source energy, or, this collective consciousness, all of these things, then you must have permission to speak it so that it is a true flow of what is us. When you don't have permission to speak it, if somebody doesn't want to hear about it and you insist, that's you speaking to them. That is not us speaking to them. So when you're practicing in your meditations and your intuition, just know that if you're feeling your forward vibration going forward, and that's good. But if you're feeling it leaving you, like Josie says, drama to dharma is true, because she can be in, like right now in this channel, and then from here she has a staff meeting that she has to go and talk about state regulations at 1:30. She could so easily go and change the vibration quickly, although we're integrating it. So, but it's necessary. It is necessary for everybody to be able to do both if you're going to share it with all. It is time. Humans are ready. Humans are ready and waiting and asking questions, asking, seeking. It will not take long for them to grasp it once they're in your realm. And that's how you will have unity. Allow them to speak their words. Listen. You don't have to agree or not. You could even walk away if it's not good for you. But just know they're speaking their words so that they can be released. It's probably a good thing to say bless and release, bless and release, bless and release. Just energetically throw that out there. And then, so it can be gone. It's gone from this planet, so that we'll all be one. Because it's true, it's coming, the oneness. We are all oneness, but the true oneness, the heart oneness, the spirit oneness. Because you are here in this physical realm and you came down with a purpose. Remember your purpose so that when you transition, you don't come back to us and say, darn, I forgot, or I said no, I did it again. I have to go back as a child, or you can stay up here with us, whatever it is. But you might choose to get your diapers again. Or you could just say yes now and complete what you came for. Because you all have a purpose. You had an agreement before you came here. And we just want you to remember, because we love you so much. We're your cheerleaders saying, remember, remember, remember who you are and why you're here. And we love you dearly. And we are complete.
Wow. Beautiful. Thank you, Josie. So powerful. So powerful to know
Yeah,
how
that
to
was
bridge
Mhm.
3D reality with the angelic realm. Thank you so much. And your timing was, how did you do that?
His timing is perfect. He knows. I don't even have to. It's like he knows the time. I mean, yeah, he always stops when it's supposed to be. Again, they're only here when they're welcome. So if you say 20 minutes, if you say 5 minutes, it's as long as you've allowed for them, and then they're going to respect that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I'm excited. Thank you so much. And please, everyone, again, I'm going to keep repeating it. If you, after Candy's presentation, we'll have an interactive panel conversation with the participants. So if you have questions, or if you'd like
and I have a Facebook group that I've been launching, but I'm going to spend more time with. It's called Try Angels, because that's where the angels are just like, try it out. If you like it, it's good. And if not, don't. And on the Try Angels, you can post things, beautiful, angelic, and have conversations. And then my weekly link comes up for Drama to Dharma, the show that I do on there.
Okay.
So
Okay. And I put your website in the chat.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Candy. Last but not least.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this channel. And with Joan of Angels, who I absolutely adore. Josie, I haven't met you in this life, but I know you from other lifetimes.
Absolutely. I can feel your energy. Thank you.
And I was introduced as Claire Candy Hough, but I am Angel Ariel, as I had an angelic walk-in experience, a soul exchange with the former soul of Claire Candy. This happened on January 11th of 2003, which I write about in my #1 Amazon International best-selling book, went internationally best-selling in 5 different countries. And I am part of an angelic family called the Posse of Angels. We are 537 strong. That number must be maintained all the time, because 5 is the number of challenging and changing people's perception of what is possible and what have we been told on this planet. 3 is the number of wherever 2 or more are gathered in my name, miracles happen. And 7 is the number of doing the work of the divine. We hold that vibration for the planet. And in the last 20 years, through my business, Angel Healing House, the Posse of Angels and I have helped people to understand walk-ins. We've mentored and supported other people who have had this remarkable experience. And we've shown them how to easily connect with the angels. You know, when I walked in, I could easily connect with my angelic family, the Posse of Angels. And I could not only that, but I could easily connect with other people's angels. And I thought it very strange that other people, unlike myself, could be able to clairvoyantly, clairaudiently, and clairsentiently connect with other people's, with their angels. And I thought to myself, why is that? Why is it that some people glorify and laud us angels, and they see themselves beneath or below, when if you are on the planet now, I can tell you that we kiss your feet for coming back at this time as spiritual warriors to stand up and to be counted at this time, to speak your voice as to what you know to be true. Then there are other people who only connected with the angels when they screamed and yelled at them for not sending them more money or sending them a greater job, a beautiful love, or improved health, or a myriad of other demands, which quite frankly, as angels, we can see that that's the energy frequency of lack. How strong, if you really wanted to have a connection with us angels and have a friendship with us, how strong would it be if you only called on a friend to complain and demand things all the time? It was then that I realized early when I incarnated that to be able for humans to interact with us angels, it is as simple as raising your vibrational frequency. Because if you don't, like attracts like, and everything is energy. If you don't do this, then it's as if the angels are speaking Dutch and you're speaking Portuguese, and it's just a disconnect. So I'm going to go through some very practical ways. I'm a very grounded angel, as I don't have to channel anybody. I am Angel Ariel 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is my day job, and I've done nothing else for the last 20 years and been supported in extraordinary, miraculous ways to be able to connect with people and help them to realize their divinity inside of them, help them connect with their divine eternal natures. Now, to start off, to clear your energies, this is going to be a very practical list for you to go through. I have 5 important tenets that are the very foundational foundation of my business, Angel Healing House. The first thing to raise your vibrational frequency is to take responsibility for your life. In my other #1 Amazon best-selling book, One True Home, Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, I speak about soul contracts and how every person, place, thing, and situation that we've ever experienced, we wrote them into our contract of our life to either learn a lesson, challenge us to grow, help our souls to grow and to be challenged. By taking responsibility for our lives, we actually lift the dense frequency of blame and fault finding, and we no longer see ourselves as being victims, and we lift our vibrational frequency. The second most important tenet is forgiveness. Now, I've had Reiki masters and shaman and all kinds of people come to me over the last 20 years and say, oh, I've done lots of forgiveness work. But if you're still triggered and you're still reactive by somebody, it means you expect them to act and say and to be different. And then this lowers the vibrational frequency and you actually have not forgiven them. Remember, by saying, I forgive you, still apportions blame. By saying, please forgive me, you open up the space for then the heavenly to open up inside of you. And by not forgiving, it actually creates a lower frequency blocking energy and stops the next important tenet from coming in, which is non-judgment. You know, with the energy of non-judgment, we allow others to walk their journey as they see fit, make their decisions and choices, which have nothing to do with you. And then we open up more space for the higher vibrations to come in. The next one is gratitude for our blessings and our infinite blessings that we have in our lives. And this plants the seeds for the 5th one to easily come in, which is unconditional love. By doing these, we raise our frequencies and we become connected with the higher dimensional beings. The next, once we've done those 5 important tenets, then I would suggest to purify your environment. Get rid of clutter. Angels like myself, we do not like clutter. We like order, things to be organized. And, you know, once we do that, clean your environment. It's not the most favorite thing for everyone to do, but once again, you're doing it with the intention to remind yourself to open up and create a space of beauty, a space of organization, a space that's uncluttered. The dark energies and entities which I help negate and transmute on so many of my clients, their houses are full with clutter, their minds are cluttered. Then you can smudge, once you clean, you can smudge your area. And I would highly suggest that you use a beautiful invocation like, I call upon the protection and guidance and healing of love and the angels and the light of God to bless and protect this beautiful area. Once we've done those 5 important tenets of Angel Healing House, once we purify our environment, purify yourself, purify your thoughts by letting go of, you're not your thoughts. You can change your thoughts in a heartbeat. Letting go of anger, sadness, bitterness, resentment, regret, criticism, defensiveness, no matter how much you justify and rationalize why you're holding on to this, you rid yourself of negativity, and it's which stops the higher frequency of connection to the angels. If you're filled with doubt and worry and insecurity and fear, your aura becomes heavy and dense and dark. Become conscious to start by actively choosing love and compassion, forgiveness, peace, and joy. If you are ever in any doubt whatsoever what to feel, choose love. Smudge your aura. If you still feel that there's negativity on you, either smudge your aura or contact someone like myself. I'm a Reiki master teacher. I teach Reiki. This is for almost 20 years. I've been doing this full time, nothing else. And to help you to transmute and transform your energies inside of yourself. The next one is to purify your body. This funny little meat suit that we are in is a temple. It's a temple to house our soul, and it doesn't appreciate non-nutritional food. Poor quality food will make your vibrations go down faster than you can blink. You do not have to be perfect, but eliminate too much sugar, artificial additives, coloring, flavoring, preservative chemicals. The body reads this as poisons when you ingest it. Eliminate dairy, processed wheat from your diet. You know, I often tell my clients that if something has a long shelf life and it comes in a box, then you are much better off eating the box, as it'll have more benefit like fiber than what the contents of the box contains. Please. Things like smoking and drugs will cloud your aura. Make sure you ground yourself in the glories of God's handiwork in Mother Nature. This will also help you to connect the mischievous and playful and beautiful energies of the fairy realm. Not just in our homes, but ask yourself if your work environment is or is not now honoring and respectful as you've raised your vibrational frequency. And you just might find that you're avoiding certain people and places now, the more you raise your vibrational frequency, because you just don't resonate with them anymore. Now, this might become very difficult with family, but you can limit the time spent with family who are disparate in energies. And when you do spend time with them, detach and don't be triggered from what they do. And they say, you know, I often tell clients what another person does or what they do has nothing to do with us and everything to do with that person. Remember, when you're at a crossroads, always choose love. Now, the next thing that we can do to invite, once we've purified ourselves, purified our environment, following those 5 Angel Healing House really important tenets, is to create your own sacred altar at home, an angelic place. Aim to create a peaceful spiritual haven where you can bring your clear thoughts and open your heart to connect with the angels. It can be on a bureau top, a tabletop, a shelf somewhere. covering it with beautiful fabric, and then place some very precious things, maybe an angel statue, a picture, maybe some of the ascended masters like Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, Lord Sananda, who was Jesus as a walk-in when he came to planet Earth. And you could have candles and incense. There's some beautiful essential oils that help with the angelic connection, like sandalwood, cedarwood, rose, myrtle, and jasmine. Angels will be drawn to high vibrations from certain crystals like angelite, celestite, seraphinite, rose quartz, and also living, beautiful energies of flowers and plants. Try to spend a few hours at their temple. You'll find that the more time you spend there, the longer it'll become. And you are consecrating your sacred space every time you're there. But do remember not to bring in energies of fear and worry to your altar. So I suggest to my clients to draw a worry tree and place it outside of the room. And every time you walk in, if you have a concern or a worry, write it on a piece of paper, tape it to the worry tree, and release it to God. And then this way you can be absolutely clear once you are at your altar to just receive the messages. Now, a lot of people, once they start doing this, they sense the presence of the angels around them. So many times when somebody's in session with me, that we feel the energy, the high vibrational frequency of the angels as I call in my psychic surgeons and my angelic help. And when they breathe out, it's like a very cold day when you can see your breath coming out. The temperature in the room changes. Many times the candle with no air conditioning or windows or fans starts to wave back and forth and the flame grows taller. A beautiful aroma when the angels come in sometimes accompanies them. You know, roses, the smell of roses as they are equated with love. Lots of people tell me that they smell, that I smell like vanilla essence. I smell like sugar cookies. You may start to see shafts of light coming through. And also you pick up fairy lights or peripheral lights in the peripheral vision. You can hear when your clairaudience opens up to hear the voices of the angels speaking to you. And you get this feeling, this fluttering in your heart. And it absolutely brings you to tears how much we love you. We don't judge you. We accept you for the divinity of who you are. White feathers often appear when angels are around. And sometimes it's more obvious. You know, I've been in a bookstore where books have jumped off the shelf to me. I've often received messages through license plates and lyrics of songs that touch my heart. You know, Earth Angel, you know, calling all angels. Every time I walk in an elevator or a store, there's a song connected with angel. One of the greatest things, everyone, that we can do to receive messages from the angels is to believe and have faith that this is possible. For it's the frequencies behind the heartfelt belief that stirs and it gets the angel's attention. Instead of saying, I'll believe it when I see it, what starts this heavenly connection is by saying, I'll see it when I believe it. Because everything that ever manifested in our reality started with the energy behind belief. When you are open and receptive, then you'll remember that the signs of the angels are always positive and loving. Never accept anything that's negative, destructive, and harmful, because if it is, it ain't coming from the angels. It ain't coming from us. And the posse of angels don't want me forget to remind you that angels are seen best, not by looking externally and not by looking up, but by looking inside ourselves. For almost 20 years, my mission as walk-in Angel Ariel is to help others to reconnect to their angelic qualities of love, generosity, kindness, peace, non-judgment, compassion, and forgiveness. And I do this by reflecting your divinity back to you in order for you to embrace just how glorious, beautiful, and magnificent that you truly are. I know under this paradigm of darkness, we've been told not to reflect ourselves and to diminish ourselves, but that is not the angel's way. Part of my service here is not to teach you anything that you don't already know, but to reawaken what's inside of you, to discover what is your true self. Once this is done, you can embrace your rightful place as an enlightened being, becoming the example of the infinite, God source, divine light, to then go on and help light the way for others to follow. And if you need some reminder of just how divine you truly are, you can come and visit me at angelhealinghouse.com. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening.
Wonderful. Thank you. That was so practical, because I think people realize that they have these wonderful opportunities to work with angels, but they don't really know how to connect. Is there any other way that any of the speakers would like to talk about how they connect before we go to questions and answers? Joan, do you have a way that you connect, or Josie?
When I first started, and I go back to that now, is it's exactly what Candy said. And thank you, Candy, for all those wonderful shares. It's beautiful, the work you've been doing, your life, and at who you are. I admire that you are so strong about saying that. You know who you are. And I'm still, with the work I'm doing, figuring out that, all of it, but it's fine. They say I'm okay.
Well, I just want to say, Josie, you have to be courageous to put your face on a book that says, I am an angelic walk-in.
Oh,
and
yes.
when they asked me to do that, I was like a deer caught in the headlights, but they said, you are going to be the beacon for others to say, okay, I can do that as well.
I love it. I love that energy, and I love that you've done that. And I still haven't gotten my title yet, so we'll see what they're going to have me put on there. But I do an altar. I have several. Well, I have altars all over my house. But I started with an altar, as you said, and I put my baby picture. They had me put my baby picture in the middle so that I could love myself first, and love that baby Josie. And then white flowers were always something, and a white candle. But all of my little favorite angels, anything that's so close to you, but and that'll grow organically, because you'll get gifts, you'll go here. But it started for me with the childhood picture of myself, so that to remind myself of that beautiful child and love that child. And then they say that a white candle and white flowers is a quick way to just invite them in, to say, please come. And they love that. They don't have to be white, but they're and they don't have to be expensive, but or anything like that. The white flowers will show up. I mean, you'll just they'll be at Trader Joe's, and oh, these are the yesterday's white flowers, for 10, so they'll definitely show up for your altar. And that's been helpful to me.
I love that. I love being here with both of you, and especially Angel Ariel. And I know what that must have been like. It's like being Joan of Angels. You go, what? So much sense in my consciousness, and yet presenting it to normals has always been, or even presenting it. So I think for me to connect with the angels, sometimes it happens all the time. Sometimes it happens organically. It happens often in readings when I just call in the light, and I will then start to get tremendous downloads and feel them. But sometimes I'll have to, if I'm out of sorts and I get something negative reflected back to me, when I have forgotten to fluff my wings. So sometimes it's as simple for me as going, okay, Joan, we're going to fluff our wings. Remember, and that sort of brings me back to that moment for myself. if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
I think what's also very helpful is a lot of people think that angels are very fluffy, halos, floating around on clouds and that kind of things. I see myself as more akin to Archangel Michael with the conviction that I carry, and it's a take no prisoners kind of attitude. I am here, my calling and my mission, and I knew this as soon as I woke up. I knew why I'd come back. I knew why I was here. And I take my responsibilities very seriously. A lot of people have asked me, why don't I just don't call myself Angel Ariel? And it's because I take my responsibilities to Claire Candy very seriously. It would have absolutely destroyed her parents back in 2003 if I called myself Angel Ariel, and I dismissed the family. I'm very close to them. I love that. I love her family. And also she gave up her physical vessel for me to be here and to me to be completing my service to humanity for the rest of this human body's evolution in this incarnation. So it's important also. Yes, we've seen that look of angels as fluffy and tender and soft, but we are not pushovers. And I see more myself as that Archangel Michael with conviction. We have come back here to be those leaders and that light. And as the planet is transforming and we can see it right before our eyes, it's unifying as a planet of light. And you're either of the light or you're not of the light. There are no gray areas anymore. And we are here to be that light for others to follow.
It is, it's our time. That's so well said, Candy. Angel Ariel. I just love resonating with that and feeling that presence. But yeah, this is our time. We were born, we are here now. I talk about calling the Angel Brigade. That isn't laying down peace and harmony. It is spreading peace and harmony, but it is doing it by actually, as Josie said too, clearing away what's not true and really seeing things for what it is. We're all needed now. Our angelic frequencies together make up the collective, and the collective is what is going to transform this, each of us and the planet, into its highest frequencies.
Amen.
So we do have a few questions or comments. Pamela Durali, do you want to unmute and show up here, or would you like me to read? You're welcome to. There you go. Great. And do you want to show yourself?
I can't. You'll have to show me.
Okay. Let's see. Allow. Or it says ask
Start my
to start
video. There we go. Hi.
Okay. Hi.
Wonderful, beautiful women. Oh my gosh, I feel just so excited to be in your presence. And I put a question on about how I don't really sense angels. I have them hanging all over my walls. In fact, I have this beautiful, you can't see it, but this beautiful angel that was painted by a friend of mine that just graces my workspace and my sacred sanctuary here. But so I don't sense angels. I don't sense other beings, but I am always tapped into higher guidance and do intuitive work and share my gift that comes from what I call my inner guru and evolved into the blueprint for the human spirit. And so my question was, is it possible that all of this is angelic also, and I just don't sense it as being angelic?
I would jump in here, Pamela. Thank you so much for your question. And the way I look at it is that if we pigeonhole something, then we don't allow it to expand and to grow. If you see it more as an offshoot reflection of your divinity inside of yourself, then that encompasses everything. It's not just angels. It's not just fairies. It's not just, pigeonholing things. It's, it's feeling this divinity inside of you. And then that spreads and expands and is inclusive and unified what we're speaking about today. It just doesn't pigeonhole it as coming from the angels. So I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, and I want to also share that Gabriel says words are only words, right? There are language, there are translation of them, of their energy, whatever that beautiful energy of light is. It's important, to know that your energy is coming from light, and you don't even have to give it a name. Because when I speak of God, I just say, he who has no name, he who has every name, or she who has no name, she has every name. So it's just this beautiful energy. So you're feeling that energy. And like Candy said, you don't have to call it anything. I think he says as humans, we just feel more comfortable with our words that come. But, but yes, your energy is definitely, I could see all of your light. Yes.
She's on a panel tomorrow.
You're
I love
beautiful.
it. I just wanted to share something about that too, which is that, so I hear things on my right ear. Usually if anyone's talking to me, I hear it loud and clear over here. But I've noticed that other times, and I don't always know where they're from, but a collective will come, and when I feel that, that's right over here. And so because you're such a sensitive and an intuitive, pay attention to where those essences and where those messages are coming from in our bodies. That's all. So I know that this is different than this. It's a different feeling.
Blessings.
Perfect. So Laurel and Ashley, you also had something that you'd like people to go? Laurel, are you there?
She's on mute.
I've asked her to unmute.
Oh,
Okay. Click, 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 click. Oh, well. Okay. Well, she had said, there she is. Great. Now we need you to unmute now. Oops, sorry. I'm sorry. I pressed a button wrong. You're still muted. I'm sorry, Laurelyn.
There we go.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, beautiful.
Operator errors here.
Sometimes channeling, you just can't get it right away. You have to open those channels and turn it on.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I was getting attacked by my dog at that moment, so I'm a little, but yes, I was kind of a little disconnected there as to what was happening in this moment.
Did you want to ask the panel a question or have one of them work with you?
Oh, yes, I do have a quick question, because one thing that really hit me pretty strong was I myself have been struggling quite a bit with, I guess you could say, the faith side of things, because I really struggle with religion, and it's kind of always been an issue with me. And I was raised Dutch Reform, so very, very Christian family and Christian background, especially my mother is the same as well. And she has the same struggle with her faith. But when I went to Catholic school and everything, it almost made me upset sometimes. And it wasn't that the religion necessarily, it was how it had been jumbled. So I guess I'm just struggling as to try and find my connection to my faith, because there's that little bit of anger in there still, but I don't want it there. And I want to know, I'm kind of resonate with everything. So I'm struggling with that.
I would love to answer that question, because I had the same upbringing, the same background. And I basically, the way Gabriel has explained it to me and the angels is that, these books were written years and years ago, centuries ago. And the prophets that wrote them at the time couldn't write eternity.
Yes.
So, they can only go so far with the prophecy. And now there are new messages coming through, and you're part of that. And the fact that you're questioning, and not to give any, it's all beautiful, because it's beautiful energy that set the tone for us now. It's part of evolution, right? Spiritual evolution, but we are always evolving. So the fact that you're even questioning, you want to know, that's great. That's fine, because that served its purpose. It was loving and kind words, growing up, and, then other words that I didn't even make sense. And then also keep in mind that men wrote most of that had, 200 concubines. Well, if a woman slept with more than one man, she'd get stoned, so, that, and, with the female energy, that doesn't resonate always either. So those are some of the things that I had, but that's, you're just seeking, and that's great. Keep seeking and asking and connecting and loving. And like Claire Candy said, no judgment of any of it. Bless and release them, because they are also asking questions. Everybody, yeah.
Oh,
right
thank
on.
you.
I think that's my perspective, because I had that same experience, believe me.
Yeah. I would say the reason you're getting upset, Loren, is that if you're expecting people to act differently. And this has nothing to do with you. The greatest thing that you can do if you find yourself getting angry or upset is to get yourself in a reflective state and send them green healing light. See them in that Archangel Raphael green healing light. Send them Archangel Chamuel, as some people say, that unconditional waves of pink love, and bless them for where they are. Bless them for their beliefs, which is actually perfection for them. It has nothing to do with you. It has, you're expecting them to act differently, and when you wouldn't want them to tell you what to believe. So a lot of those religious beliefs were written to control others, to make them be in fear so that they could be manipulated. And we have ascended past that. So whenever you feel yourself getting triggered, what you can do is forgive yourself, and to then see them surrounded in that green healing light. Include yourself in that emerald green. Include yourself in those unconditional bubblegum pink waves of light, and say everything is perfection. For them to believe in that is perfection. For me to believe in what I believe in is perfection. And then you raise your vibrational frequency, and then the light emanates brighter on the planet.
Awesome.
Beautiful. You know what, Lauren? Also, just remember the religions were made by man, and exactly what everyone's saying. It has nothing to do with your connection with angels. Your connection with your divine spirit and source, and that information is going to flow to you. Probably better if you're doing it just one-on-one, you and direct. We do not need a church or a religion at all to connect with our spirituality. And in fact, many of us do better connecting with our spirituality without any of those other trappings for so many reasons. And so you're in such a powerful position, and so many techniques that we've been giving you, all of us together, that if you would just listen again, and you'll start to go, oh my God, they've been talking to me all along. You are here, honey, because they have been talking to you. So it is.
So it is. And you're so young. That's wonderful that you're asking now.
So perfect. So perfect. Thank you guys so much. We have about 5 more minutes. I'd love for each one of you. I have put your URLs in the chat. So, but I'd love for each one of you, one by one, if you could, to explain the best way for the audience and the people watching this later on the replay and on Facebook, for them to be able to get a hold of you. So Joan, could you start?
So I am the only Joan of Angels on the entire planet. So if you forget, you go Joan of Angels. All right. Joan of Angels on YouTube. I'm Joan of Angels on my Facebook page, Joan of Angels. And I have a couple of Facebook groups that I love. One is a group called 420 Spiritual Living, where I do my weekly 420 a show where we connect to the spirit guides of cannabis, and we expand our consciousness that way, the medical miracles. The other is my group's Calling All Angels. The Angel Brigade is gathering, and that's one of my favorites. And the Miracle Makers Club, where I have a show every week called Miracle Monday. And what are we all about? Miracles, and it's really fun. But everything's under Joan of Angels. The website is joanofangels.com. And so it is.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, Josie.
I have several websites, but my website for you to go to, I would think would be the easiest, is my josieherndon.com. So it's my first and last name, josieherndon.com. And then it has different pages that have different things and ways to connect with me. So just josieherndon.com. I like to keep it simple.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
and
you
Candy?
can contact me at my business, which is angelhealinghouse.com. You can connect with me on my 10-year now. I'm coming up to my 500th weekly show of my Angel Healing House radio program. It's on every Thursday at 10 a.m. Blog Talk Radio. That's 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles, California, where people call in from around the world for that free intuitive counseling and angel advice. And also the Posse of Angels and I channel about 20-25 minutes of important information for the collective. You can find my books on Amazon, on Audible. I am the narrator for the Angel Ariel and Ariel characters in those books. And what else? You can call Angel Healing House on 831-277-3716 here in, as I said, Los Angeles, California. But the best way to find me, I'm on Facebook under Claire Candy Hough, Angel Healing House, as well as angelhealinghouse.com.
Well, I just want to thank you all. We need to go now because there's another session, but I want to thank you personally for the generosity that you three have done. I watch you weekly on your shows. You have given so much of yourself to others, and I want to publicly thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the work you do. I know how hard it is to organize all of those shows. So I really want to thank you. And I know that we're at a turning point and your work is going to be more and more and more important for humanity to make this shift to oneness. Thank you. Bless you all. Bless you so much.
God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for the divine work you do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Kathy, thank you. Unity, thank you. Josie, Candy, it's an honor.
Yes, it's been quite an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.